This is Gun Cranks.
Hello again, everybody. Yes, it's the Gun Cranks. I'm Guns Magazine editor Brent Wheat. I'm here with American Handgunner editor Tom McHale and our retired boss, but the noteworthy and respected Roy Huntington.
Gonna say
hey guys,
notorious.
It's good to see you again.
Notorious is a better word. Yeah.
Notorious. Well, it probably will be notorious after this, because in our very first segment, we're going to talk about something that might get a little sketchy, might be a little dicey, and we've kind of been arguing back and forth about how we even talk about it, but it's that darn pistol brace ban. Everybody's talking about it, everybody's worried about it, and you know, it takes a couple of days to record this thing and get it edited, so let's hope that the laws haven't changed by the time it airs, but right now we don't know what the heck's going to happen, and I'm going to pitch this to Roy, because he's been around since this thing became a thing, and we just don't know where it's going to go. But anyway, Roy, how'd we get here, and what do you think we ought to be doing about it?
You know, I'm going to say right off the bat, I'm not a topic expert here, but I think a little history might be in order. A lot of people whose world started at AR-15s today, you know, just have been shooting in the last 5 or 10 years, really don't remember probably the fact that 20 plus years ago, a very small AR manufacturer in the States here, before the whole AR explosion occurred, introduced a prototype AR-15 pistol. And I think it was in 7.62 by 39. And I remember at the time, across the entire SHOT Show floor, everyone was just groaning. You know, they were going, whoa, why do this? You know, we're really like, we're just like poking the tiger, you know, with this one. Everyone was a little uncomfortable with the AR-15s starting to explode. We were seeing it start to affect the hunting market. We were seeing it just affect a lot of things, and it was changing the way the industry was. And so when this pistol was introduced, we really thought it was going to be banned immediately. And much to, I think, everyone's surprise, it wasn't. And then that industry started to grow. It was incremental at first, but you know, we've all seen the explosion in the last, say, 8 to 10 years in the whole short AR-15 pistol. So originally, it was my impression that was for people who were disabled at some level, who were still able to enjoy the AR-15 style guns. And then it was soon realized when they introduced the brace, it was to allow these people to stabilize and be able to shoot this gun, which I think is really fair. And so if you've got one arm or something, you want to enjoy shooting an AR style gun, then I think that makes perfect sense. But like everything, we of course expand on it into where pictures appeared of people bracing the brace against their cheek and then at their shoulder, and then the ATF got excited and entered into it, and then we all were scared to death and argued back and forth, what are we going to do, what are we going to do? And then we all know where that went, to where it was legal, but you're not allowed to use it like a stock, except now kind of you can. And so that's where we are. But now, thanks to our friends in office now, it looks like there's a serious move to ban it all. And that's kind of how I know that we got here. Guys, you want to enlighten anything on that?
No, I mean, you hit it on the head, so that comes to the question, and we honestly, I'm going to be interested to hear opinions, because what do? Let's assume that they do something pretty onerous, not an outright ban, but maybe make it a class 3 or something. That, you know, one of those things where we say, now suddenly millions of us could be felons. So what do we do there? And I'm going to pitch that to somebody else to take that question first.
I have some thoughts on this, and first I want to address an elephant in the room. Is a lot of people don't care about AR pistols. Here is exactly why you should care a lot about the AR pistol issue. Simply put, what is happening right now is a federal agency in the executive branch is changing law effectively through a simple policy change with zero involvement from legislators, who are the only ones chartered to write, make, and change laws in this country. They are creating millions and millions of overnight felons. Okay? Now, this is related to the brace issue because if this change in a policy goes into effect, I heard a number the other day, somewhere like 10 million. I mean, it's an astronomical number of these things floating around out there, right? Those people have three choices: surrender it, confiscation; two, register it as a class 3 type weapon, with $200 to the ATF and wait a year and all the permission slips; or three, become a federal felon overnight. So we are fighting crime by taking law-abiding citizens and converting them instantly to federal felons, right? Now, here, I do want to circle back to why you should care about this, because think about all the other things that could be accomplished by a simple policy redefinition. What's a high-capacity magazine? Do you want that to be an ATF decision with no legislative involvement nationally? What about a semi-automatic gun? Well, that's really a class 3 type weapon, right? So your Glock or your shotgun or a rifle, whatever it is, maybe, do you want that to be a class 3 and everybody who owns one to become a felon overnight? I mean, this thing is scaring the heck out of me because of the potential ramifications. If you think they're going to be happy with an AR pistol ban, you're delusional, right? That's step one. That's to test the waters because they want to see what's going to happen. What are people going to do? What are these 10 million law-abiding citizens going to do? Are they going to turn them in? Are they going to register them? Are they going to, share? Can I ask our producer if we can do this motion? No, we can't. Okay. So we're not going to do that. But are they going to do that? This is an experiment. So that's my conspiracy theory. What do you guys think?
I agree because, I got to be honest with you. First of all, we can't really tell anybody to do anything for obvious reasons. And second of all, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Of course, we don't know what the law is going to be, but I'm counting worst case scenario. Now, here's a thought I just had that, I've said all along that typically an adult in the room somewhere in that room says, look, this is going to create a big problem and widespread societal issues. Let's not go quite that far. And frankly, in this administration, I don't know that there's that kind of voice. But I just had a sudden thought. Maybe they do something like a voluntary registration, because that solves a problem for the administration. Well, we're doing something, and those evil gun owners aren't complying with it, but that's the best we can do. That would solve their problem, because nobody would register, but at least the law's on the books, and it kind of solves our problem. There doesn't become a massive response, shall we say, to the federal government. So that might be one
dodge
option.
a Supreme Court case too.
Exactly.
Because I'm not a constitutional lawyer, but when we get into something this broad sweeping, impacting, you can't make something illegal that's legal. You can't
millions of them. Yeah.
Say, okay, what you're doing today, what you did yesterday is wrong, so we're going to throw you in jail for it. That's kind of a fundamental principle here. So,
well, I think something that a lot of people don't understand is why would this be illegal? In other words, what does putting this stabilizing brace on a pistol, why is that illegal? And it's illegal because you can't attach a permanent shoulder stock or actually in some situations even a detachable shoulder stock to a short-barreled handgun. So if your pistol barrel length is 16 inches or over, then you could attach a stock to it and you would be legal. If your pistol barrel is 10 inches long and you have a Smith & Wesson revolver, well, you can't attach a shoulder stock to it because now you have a shoulder stock short-barreled rifle and you're not allowed to do that technically. If you have a Thompson Center Contender pistol and you want to put one of the Thompson Center Encore or Contender rifle stocks on it, you're a felon now. So if you have a pistol barrel on your Thompson Center Contender and you want to put a rifle barrel on it, that's okay. And technically, if you've bought a rifle Contender with a stock and a rifle on it, and you take that barrel off, you can't put a pistol barrel on it and take the shoulder stock off and put a grip on it. And so that's how confusing all this is.
Well, that's more dangerous or something, right?
Yeah.
More dangerous.
I still don't understand how the short-barreled shotguns with the the grip, what are they called? The Mossberg makes one, and Remington makes one.
Yeah.
The little
Shockwave
short gun,
and
the Shockwave and whatnot. I'm still confused. I don't really understand how that happened. How did those get by?
We just did a story on that in Guns 2 or 3 months ago. I didn't know we were going to go that direction, but you can check out a back issue of Guns, and we had a story. It's very complicated, but the bottom line here is, I don't know if you guys knew this, murder, shooting people, and robbery are all currently illegal. Okay?
No, they're not.
So, yeah.
Are they?
They are.
When did that happen?
I'm not sure how this is going to really stop crime, right? So
Yeah, and I don't know if any of them has been used in crimes. I'm not aware of anything like that.
Pretty
one of these
pretty
guns,
small. So if you're looking
All
for
right.
answers looking for answers from us, it's going to be an individual decision. And I know that's maybe a cop out, but that's just the way it's got to be. But how about we all fight for it before it happens? Just a thought.
There you go.
Yeah, and it's still up in the air.
Yep.
So.
Well, all right. Well, let's guys, let's talk about something a little more fun here with some I almost did it. Tips and tricks.
Yeah, be careful when you say that.
Hey guys, have you noticed it's a little warm outside? Some more than others. Even though I would say that all of our current climates are pretty close to, 90 degrees and 90% humidity, which is just awful. And I know our friends out west are laughing. It may be hotter out there, but it's dry. Bottom line is it's freaking miserable to go to the range right now. So I thought we'd just take a quick few minutes and talk about some, tips to help beat the heat when you're out on the range during the summer. And mine is not so much a shooting or exposure kind of thing, but I hate mosquitoes, and this is the bomb. I'm not doing a product review here. This is a thermocell, and they come in a couple of different models, and they make some ones that you can set out on the table. But here's the reason I bring this up. Somebody sent me one of these years ago, and I thought, this is voodoo, right? It uses a little pad, and basically it's a burner. It runs with some little propane cartridges that you put in the bottom, and it's got a little tiny heater you can't even see, but it burns these pads. I'm telling you, it freaking works. You have one of these, you set it on your table, on your stand, at, the bed of your pickup truck, and the mosquitoes, or as we call them, the Indiana state bird, will not kill you. It clears an area about 10 feet and it actually works. So that's actually my tip. This is a great shooting accessory to have in your bag during warm weather, the thermocell.
On the shooting bench, right? Just lay it right there, and yeah.
It works by freaking magic.
Eaten alive at my range.
Yep.
I'll tell you what else that you do with that really is when you're sitting like at the range or something, put it underneath your shooting bench, put it underneath the stool, because then it tends to flow up around you. Because here in Missouri, when I shoot on my back patio on a day like today, it is mosquito central. And you're exactly right, Brent, with one of those thermocell things is I just put it underneath the stool that I'm sitting on, and it just envelops you in mosquito freedom.
So now that we're out at the range and we're mosquito free, what are some of the other things that you guys do to adapt to this lovely weather we're having?
Me.
Okay, Roy.
I have a fan, like a kind of an industrial fan I bought at Home Depot. And I'm fortunate because since I shoot on my back patio back here, is I plug it into an outlet and I basically let it blow across. If it's one of those just so hot, sweaty, sticky, disgusting days, and I just let it blow across where I'm sitting shooting from the bench. And so it keeps the gnats away and keeps the skeeters away, and it keeps you with a cool breeze. And I mean, unless I'm mistaken, most ranges have plugs outside. There's probably going to be power though, and so don't be shy. Bring a little box fan with you or something like that, and it is amazing the difference that it makes.
Yeah.
Rather than just standing there, just sweating down your face. That and I tie a handkerchief around your forehead to keep the sweat from running down in your eyes. Plus, you look like you're a ninja.
There you go. Nice.
Well, Tom,
Delta
you live
Ninja
in
Seal.
Humidityville, USA. So
I do.
you've got
I heard
tips.
you say something about 90 degrees and 90% humidity. That is false. That is fake news because here the humidity averages 312%.
That's no
in
kidding.
the summertime. So I measured it.
Tom
So-
is in the low
No,
country
but seriously,
near Charleston.
here's something I learned the hard way because I'm kind of thick and stupid on occasion. I conceal carry, well, all the time pretty much, right? And I love a fine leather holster as much as the next guy. But I do, especially in the summer, I switch out. I go to Kydex in the summer because I was making a video or something one day doing an air marshal qualification, which is pretty challenging time-wise. And I was using a fine leather rig on a 300% humidity day, and that stuff gets sticky. So here's the tip that comes out of this. If you carry, and you carry in a leather holster in the summer, do yourself a favor. Try some things out next time you're at the range. See how your draw works. See how your magazine extractions work, because you just might find that things aren't coming out of there quite so easy as you would hope in a moment of sheer desperation, right? So I do. I like in the summertime. I go Kydex. Works every time, unaffected by the wet, sticky weather. So
Great idea.
that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
That makes good sense too, because I used to keep a leather flapped holster on my tractor roll bar to keep a Taurus Judge in to shoot rats and stuff like that. And I quit doing it because it turned green in the summertime. And you're right, it would sort of collapse around the gun. So, hey, it's something else that I always make sure I do, and especially if I'm shooting somewhere, is I get one of those little 6-pack coolers and throw some ice in it and throw some cold drinks in it. No, not beer, but, because I think it's really important because you're shooting and you're tired, and sometimes people tend to treat a trip to the range like it's an ordeal, and they have to get through this no matter what.
Yeah.
But the problem is you get thirsty, you get fatigued, you get sweat in your eyes, and that can be unsafe. And so there's nothing wrong with taking a break, sit down, relax, get a cold drink, because it's, you can talk about all the baloney and how good you're shooting, but you get rested up, you get your wits back, you get refocused on what's going on, and then you go back to shooting and you be safe. So
that's a great idea.
So there we go.
And I've got another one that folks don't think about, and this applies any place, whether you're in the Mojave Desert or you're in Mosquitoville down by Tom's house. Don't let your ammo heat up. This is not quite as important for shotgun, certainly not as much for pistol, but if you're shooting a rifle and you lay that ammo down on the bench or whatever in the sun, it may get to be 150 degrees, and that will absolutely, positively affect your point of impact dramatically. But it happens all the time. People are seeing shifts in your point of aim or your point of impact, and it's like, what's going on? Well, obviously, it can affect your barrel, so that's another issue. But just the simple act of laying your box of ammo or your loose rounds out there in the sun, and then if you reach over to grab ammo and it burns your hand, it's probably too hot. You may want to put it in the shade or put it in that cooler. But try to keep it at a sane and reasonable temperature throughout all your firing.
Well, Brent, competition rifle shooters actually keep their ammunition in a cooler on a hot day. And you're right, it can actually get dangerously over pressure, so that's excellent advice. So cool.
So anybody else got any great summertime tips aside from sunscreen? Because those of us who are melanin challenged, we get burned up real fast.
I got one more quick one related to my carry thing. So don't be afraid to be a sissy. That's my tip, and here's what I mean by that. Kydex holster. This is a Klinger no print wonder. Great little holster, but they also make this cushy pad, Velcro on one side, cushy pad material on the other. These little Velcro dots you stick on any Kydex type holster, right? You slap that thing on there, and you got a comfy moisture barrier for the hot, sweaty days between you and your gun. You just you get a little 1/4 inch of separation, couple layers of material. A lot more comfortable, and everything stays dry. Well, there you have it.
Good advice.
Great advice. Remember, the takeaway from this segment is don't be afraid to be a girly man, according to Tom McHale. So
that's right.
Great advice, guys. And now I'm ready to face the heat out there on the range.
Hey guys, I want to talk about new gear. Let's time for a quartermaster segment here. I got some new stuff, and I know you always got some new toys to share. So what do you say? Let's hear about it. Brent, what do you got?
Any ideas what that might be?
Okay. I know,
It's
but
my
it's kind of
life.
cheating.
Tom knows because he turned me on to this. It's a target.
It's kind of cheating, so I'm going to abstain from answering this question.
I think you can see it on the camera. It's targets by Throom, which I got to admit, that's kind of an odd name, but these are polymer targets, and I think we mentioned them way back in like one of the first gun cranks, and that's what turned me on, and I contacted them, and they sent me a whole care package, and this stuff is the bomb. The idea behind polymer targets, obviously, is you can shoot them at any distance, and you're not going to get, say, a 168 grain piece of lead coming back at you at, Mach 5. We've all seen it. Few of us have had it happen, and even copper jackets can come back and catch you. So with Throom targets, there's no problem. And the cool thing is, these have solved all the problems. There's been polymer targets for years. They tend to blow apart pretty quickly, or they fall apart under different environmental conditions, whether it's cold or really hot. And so far, these things have just stayed with it. When the bullet goes through, it just leaves a little pinhole. So I've not shot one to pieces yet. I've not put tens of thousands of rounds through them, but they're good stuff. They make everything from little hangers to great big plates to these are they're knocked down for the plate rack. So,
Yep.
and it's completely polymer, so no danger whatsoever. And I like these. This is a bracket, so you can take 2x4s. You put two legs in here, you put your cross piece here, and you can use you could still use steel if you wanted to, but made for all their various and sundry targets. So, and they're not crazy expensive. All the different pieces start about $20 and go up from there. But Throom targets, I'm a big fan of. And a side note for those of us who do video and photography, they're a cool color too, so you can see all that. So Throom targets, I believe it's throomtargets.com. Big fan of them. And thanks to Tom McHale for turning me on to it.
Hey, Brent, if people want more info on that, I recorded a video
That's
some
right.
months ago
I forgot.
on the Guns and American Handgunner YouTube channel. And it was actually kind of fun because to kind of make the point that you were talking about, being able to shoot them up close without worrying about splashback, I shot a 44 Magnum at a whole plate rack full of them from 6 inches away. I mean, mainly I did that because I don't miss as often from that range, But
I
also
remember watching that,
to
though, and
demonstrate.
I just shut my eyes when you did it. Yeah.
Well, it's funny. I mean, that was totally on purpose, and people were like, "Well, why are you so close?" I'm like, "Cause I can."
Yep. So
Yeah, you definitely can't do that with
Throom
Scary.
targets.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my show
pretty
and
funny.
tell.
Who's it? My turn?
Yeah, they're cool.
Yes, it's your turn.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, what you got,
My
Roy?
turn. So, proper guns to carry concealed are single-action revolvers like this Ruger 357 Blackhawk, right? Except one thing, not a lot of people make proper concealed carry holsters for them, except fortunately, Mitch Rosen responded, and this concealed carry single-action holster is from his Express line, and I actually have a prototype that he made about 20 years ago, and I actually have carried it many times with a Colt single action, but he recently got himself a Ruger pistol, and I said, why don't you make that holster to fit that gun? And he did, and they're just absolutely marvelous. And they're under $100, and I recommend, if you like these guns like I do, don't be afraid to tote one of these and be a manly man. So there you go. Mitch Rosen Extraordinary Gun Leather.
I honestly, before you showed me that, I've actually toyed with the idea of occasionally starting to carry a single action. Why not? Why? Why not? That just has
Why
that
not?
certain panache and style with it. So
Because you can.
because you can, at least for now.
Yeah.
I know. Too bad you're not eligible
right,
to win the 45th anniversary American Handgunner revolver.
I know that
Really?
is a nice gun. Oh,
Yeah, go
Lord.
to AmericanHandgunner.com and check that out, folks. You can register to win that thing. It's on the cover of the September-October issue.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
There we go.
And then guns
But be
down the
thinking
road will have
about
an even
this,
better one. But You didn't hear that, did you?
Yeah. La, 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 la.
All right. Guessing game. What's this?
No idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm trying to look at different. Oh, it's a light, of course. Light boy.
Oh.
Yeah, actually, this is kind of cool. Latest and greatest from our friends at Streamlight. This is a keychain light, rechargeable, USB rechargeable.
Yeah.
There is a
Yeah.
tiny. Hey, I don't know about you guys, but I'm totally getting sold on rechargeable lights. I mean, it used to be, don't trust it, but nowadays I do. This thing's awesome. I mean, look how, just to put in scale with my hand right there, it is tiny, tiny. So it's keychain ready with a little clip, but 325 lumens. So it is. Wow. It is quite bold.
And that's like all the light you really ever need.
Yeah, it's got two modes. It's got a low mode, if you're just looking for stuff, at night, you always have the light with you, but it's got the high mode for 325 lumens.
That's cool.
So, cool stuff.
Amazing.
Check it
The
out.
only not cool
Thank
part
you,
is they didn't send me
Streamlight.
one,
Yeah.
so I've got my pouty lip on.
Well, they don't
I know,
like you,
obviously. No, they
Brent.
sent me a wedge.
So,
We weren't. This isn't my segment, but we've talked about it before.
They gave you a wedgie?
They did. They gave
you
me a
wedgie?
Coyote Brown
was it nice
wedgie.
of them?
No, that's a cool light there.
Coyote.
But I would like to have one of those keychain lights because 2 is 1, 1 is none.
Don't,
how many
don't tell my wife
flashlights
or
is
I'm going to
enough?
lose this one. So, hey,
Yeah,
2 is 1. You got one on the keychain that's plenty
Yep.
bright, if needed, and then carry a wedge in your
Absolutely.
pocket. So,
No, that's pretty cool.
good stuff.
And so Tom, let me ask.
Cool.
So how much does that cost?
$360,000.
Wow. That includes a Maserati, right?
Yeah.
And
Well,
there's a dozen price.
I have no earthly idea how much it costs because I didn't prepare for your question that I knew was coming. So, but I responded quickly and with
But I'm sure it's very
authority, so
reasonable.
We'll
sounded
put a
believable to me.
we'll put a link. Don't worry, boys and girls.
Tom, you do know because this has
Alrighty,
become our running gag. I ask you the question, and you normally have the answer, so you can throw it back in my face.
what?
But the score is now me 2 and you 0.
We're coming off a holiday weekend. I'm a little sluggish, so
Okay.
be nice.
But like I said, I'm sure it's very
It's 'cause
reasonable.
He's swimming through that 300%
Yes.
humidity they have there. So
That's right. Exactly.
Hey, I'm out of goodies
too.
though. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll get more next time on Gun
Yeah.
Cranks Quartermaster.
Well, guys, it's been another fun and informative Gun Cranks, and I got to say, between our segments, we had quite a discussion about this, and it really entertained our producer. So, anyway,
Yeah.
it's been wonderful.
That's just wrong.
It's a great target from Throom. See, I'm getting them an extra plug-in. They didn't even ask for a plug, and I'm giving them an extra. So, good folks. But anyway, it was a great Gun Cranks, and we had a lot of interesting discussion. Make sure that you check out all of our great publications, American Handgunner Magazine and AmericanHandgunner.com. Of course, Guns Magazine at gunsmagazine.com, and our sister publication, the wonderful AmericanCop.com. You can reach us at editor at our respective websites. And as always, we ask you to please share some kind words or something positive on your own social media because we need more than 5 viewers, okay? The boss has promised us when we get to 7 million, then we get our own jets. And as you know, we're talent, and we need to live like talent. So please, please, please help us. Anyway, I don't know what I'm saying there. Anyway, it's been the Gun Cranks on behalf of Tom McHale and Roy Huntington. I'm Guns Magazine editor Brent Wheat. Have a great one. We'll see you the next time.
Woo!